Hey everyone. So I've been playing around with AI and we just released a documentary about UFOs that is 100% written, performed, and illustrated by AI. But I wanted to try out something different, so I uploaded a video that I wrote and generated with AI to an auto editor that just automatically adds B-roll. It was a 25-minute Bigfoot documentary, and I just let the editor do whatever it wanted, and the results are insane. You can kind of see how it finds keywords and searches for those, but the footage that it ends up with is nowhere near exactly what you would think of for a UFO documentary. So here it is in all of its glory. Enjoy, laugh, and I'll get the real one out at some point where I'll have to do a little more work to make it work.
For centuries, whispers of a massive, ape-like creature have echoed through the wilderness. Known as Bigfoot, this elusive being has captivated the minds of those who dare to seek the truth. We will delve into the depths of the mystery of Sasquatch, examining the evidence, the theories, and the individuals who have devoted their lives to uncovering the truth about this elusive creature. From ancient legends to recent sightings, we will explore the hidden history, the science, and the secrets surrounding this mysterious creature. Join us as we set out on a journey to uncover the truth about one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. The legend of Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, has captivated people for generations, but its origins can be traced back to the indigenous cultures of North America, where the creature has been a part of folklore for centuries. Many Native American tribes have stories of a large, ape-like creature that inhabits the wilds of the Pacific Northwest. The creature is known by different names, such as Sasquatch in the Salish language, Stick Indian in the Chinook language, and Wild Man in the Haida language. These stories describe the creature as a powerful and elusive being that is both feared and respected. It is said to possess supernatural powers and to be able to control the elements. Some stories tell of how the creature would steal women and children, while others tell of how it would help lost hunters find their way home. The Native Americans also believed that the Sasquatch is a protector of the forest and the animals that live there. They saw it as a guardian of the natural balance, and would often leave offerings for it, such as food or tobacco. As the world outside of the native communities began to take notice of this mysterious creature, the 1920s and 1930s saw a rise of interest in the unknown and the unexplained, with the first compelling sightings of Bigfoot surfacing. These early reports would set the stage for the modern legend of the creature, and would spark a debate that continues to this day. One of the earliest known reports of a Bigfoot sighting was in 1924, when a group of miners in the Ape Canyon area of Washington state claimed to have been attacked by a group of the creatures. According to the miners, the creatures were about 7 feet tall, covered in hair, and had a strong, unpleasant odor. They claimed that the creatures had thrown rocks at their cabin, shattering windows and causing injuries. The miners were able to hold off the creatures with gunfire, but the incident left a lasting impression on them. In the following years, other reports of similar encounters began to surface in the Pacific Northwest. In 1926, a hunter in Oregon claimed to have seen a massive ape-like creature while tracking a bear. He described the creature as standing over 8 feet tall, with long, powerful arms and a wide barrel chest. The hunter was so startled by the sighting that he ran away, leaving his hunting gear behind. In 1933, a group of hikers in California's Sierra Nevada mountains reported seeing a creature that matched the description of a Bigfoot. They claimed that the creature was covered in dark fur and had a face that was a mix of human and ape. The hikers were so frightened by the encounter that they immediately left the area and never returned. These early sightings were met with skepticism by many, but they also sparked a wave of interest and curiosity about the creature. The story spread quickly, and soon the media began to take notice. In 1941, an article about the creature appeared in the San Francisco Examiner, and the creature was given the name Bigfoot. As the legend of Bigfoot grew, so did the number of sightings and encounters. In the 1940s and 1950s, reports of the creature came from all over the Pacific Northwest, from Washington and Oregon to California and British Columbia. Some of the most compelling reports came from experienced outdoorsmen, such as hunters and loggers, who claimed to have seen the creature up close. One such report came from a logger named Robert Patterson, who claimed to have had a face-to-face encounter with a Bigfoot in 1955. According to Patterson, he was working in the woods when he saw a creature standing on the other side of a clearing. He described the creature as standing about 7 feet tall, with dark, shaggy hair and a face that was a mix of human and ape. Patterson claimed that the creature stared at him for a moment before turning and disappearing into the forest. Another compelling report came from a man named Jerry Crew, who claimed to have seen a Bigfoot while working on a construction site in 1958. Crew described the creature as standing about 8 feet tall, with long, powerful arms and a wide, barrel chest. He said that the creature had a face that was a mix of human and ape, and that it had deep-set eyes and a wide, flat nose. Crew claimed that the creature stared at him for a moment before turning and running away. These early sightings were not only significant because of the number of people who reported them, but also because of the consistency of the descriptions. Many of the witnesses described the creature as being tall, covered in hair with a human-like face and long arms. These descriptions would become the hallmark of the modern legend of Bigfoot. As the sightings continued, interest in the creature grew, and soon expeditions were organized in search of the creature. One of the most famous of these expeditions was led by Dr. Grover Krantz, a physical anthropologist from Washington State University in the 1970s. Krantz was convinced that the creature was a missing link in human evolution, and he spent years studying the creature's tracks and analyzing hair samples that were claimed to be from the creature. Krantz's research was met with skepticism by many in the scientific community, but it also helped to lend credibility to the idea that the creature could be a real animal. In the following years, many other researchers and organizations would join the search for the creature. Some used traditional methods, such as tracking and studying tracks and hair samples, while others used more modern technology, such as thermal imaging cameras and DNA analysis. Despite the numerous expeditions and research projects, however, no concrete evidence of the creature's existence has been found. Recent decades have seen a continuation of sightings and encounters with the creature, with many people coming forward to report their own experiences. These sightings have occurred all over North America, with the majority of them happening in the Pacific Northwest, but also in other regions such as the Appalachians and the Great Lakes. In the late 20th century, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization was established, which has been dedicated to the research and investigation of Bigfoot sightings and encounters. The BFRO has collected thousands of reports from witnesses and has organized numerous expeditions and research projects in an effort to find concrete evidence of the creature's existence. One of the most famous sightings was the Patterson-Gimlin film taken in 1967 by Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin. The footage, which has been studied and debated for decades, shows a figure walking in the woods that some believe to be a Bigfoot. While many experts have argued that the footage is a hoax, others believe it to be genuine and consider it to be one of the best pieces of evidence for the existence of the creature. In 2008, the Bigfoot DNA Project was launched, with the goal of obtaining a DNA sample of the creature. Researchers collected hair, blood, and other samples from supposed Bigfoot sightings, and then analyzed the DNA. Though the results were inconclusive, and some of the samples were found to be from known animals, the project generated a lot of attention and interest in the creature. In recent years, there have been many reported sightings in various regions of North America, including in Texas, Florida, and even as far north as Canada. Many of these sightings have been captured on camera and have been shared on social media and news outlets. These videos have generated a lot of discussion and debate among those who believe in the creature's existence and those who are skeptical. As the legend of Bigfoot has grown, so has the search for concrete evidence of the creature's existence. Through the decades, many pieces of evidence have been put forward as proof of the creature's existence, but none have been able to provide conclusive evidence. The Patterson-Gimlin film, shot in 1967, is one of the most famous pieces of evidence for the existence of Bigfoot. The footage, which lasts just under 1 minute, shows a figure walking in the woods that some believe to be a Sasquatch. The film was shot by Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin while they were on a horseback expedition in the Bluff Creek area of Northern California, an area known for its Bigfoot sightings. The footage shows a creature walking on 2 legs with a distinctive human-like gait. The creature is covered in hair with a distinctive hump on its back. The figure stops and turns towards the camera for a moment, giving a clear view of its face, which is described as a mix of human and ape-like features. The creature then continues on its way and disappears into the woods. Since its release, the Patterson-Gimlin film has been the subject of intense debate and scrutiny. Many experts have analyzed the footage, and opinions are divided about its authenticity. Some argue that the film is a hoax, while others believe that it is genuine and that it shows a real, unknown creature. Those who believe in the authenticity of the film argue that the creature in the footage is anatomically consistent with what would be expected of a large primate. They point to the distinct gait, the muscle structure, and the movement of the creature's hair as evidence that it is not a man in a suit. They also point out that the film was shot in an area with a long history of Bigfoot sightings, and that the creature's appearance is consistent with the descriptions given by witnesses. On the other hand, those who believe the film to be a hoax argue that the creature in the footage is too human-like to be a real animal. They point out that the figure's gait is too smooth and lacks the jerky movements that would be expected of a large primate. They also argue that the film is too short and that the creature is only shown from a distance, which makes it difficult to determine its true size and shape. In recent years, advances in technology have allowed for new analysis of the film. For example, a study in 2011 used 3D computer modeling to analyze the creature's anatomy and gait, and concluded that the creature in the footage is unlikely to be a man in a suit. Another study in 2012 used forensic imaging techniques to analyze the film and found that the creature's hair moved in a way that is consistent with an animal, and not a human in a suit. Despite the ongoing debate about its authenticity, the Patterson-Gimlin film remains one of the most famous pieces of evidence for the existence of Bigfoot. It is considered by many to be one of the best pieces of evidence for the existence of the creature, and it continues to fuel the debate about whether or not the creature is real. Another piece of evidence that has been put forward in the search for Bigfoot is the collection of casts of footprints that have been found in various locations throughout North America. These casts, which are made by pouring a liquid material into a footprint and allowing it to harden, provide a detailed and accurate representation of the original print. They have been studied by researchers, and while some argue that they are evidence of the creature's existence, others claim that they can be explained by known animals or hoaxes. The first known cast of a Bigfoot footprint was made in 1958 by a construction worker named Jerry Crew, who claimed to have seen the creature while working on a construction site in California. Crew made a cast of one of the footprints and sent it to a local newspaper, which then ran a story about the sighting. This event sparked a wave of interest in the creature, and soon other people began to report their own sightings and encounters. In the following years, many other casts of footprints were made and reported from various locations throughout North America. Some of the most famous casts were made in the Pacific Northwest, an area known for its high number of Bigfoot sightings. Many of these casts were made by experienced outdoorsmen, such as hunters and loggers, who claim to have seen the creature up close. The casts of footprints have been analyzed by researchers and experts, who have looked for any unique characteristics that might distinguish them from known animal tracks. Some researchers have pointed out that the prints are larger than those of known animals and have unique dermal ridges and other features that are not found in other animal tracks. They argue that these unique characteristics are evidence of an unknown animal. However, others have argued that the casts of footprints can be explained by known animals or hoaxes. They point out that many of the prints have been found in areas where bears and other large animals are known to live, and that the prints can be easily faked. They argue that the unique characteristics can be explained by natural variation, and that there is no concrete evidence that the prints are from an unknown animal. In recent years, some researchers have used new technologies such as 3D scanning and photogrammetry to analyze the footprints' casts in greater detail. These methods allow us to make accurate measurements of the prints and to create 3D models that can be used to study the prints in more detail. These studies have revealed new insights about the prints, but they have also generated new questions, and opinions are still divided as to whether the prints are evidence of an unknown animal or not. In the late 20th century, the search for concrete evidence of the existence of Bigfoot took on a new dimension with the launch of the Bigfoot DNA Project. The project, which was led by a group of researchers and scientists, aimed to obtain a DNA sample of the creature in order to determine once and for all if it was a real animal. The project began in the early 1990s when researchers collected hair, blood, and other samples from supposed Bigfoot sightings. These samples were then analyzed in a lab using DNA sequencing techniques. The goal was to compare the DNA from the samples to that of known animals in order to determine if the creature was a previously unknown species. The results of the project were inconclusive, with the majority of samples found to be from known animals such as bears, deer, and even humans. However, a small number of samples were found to have DNA that could not be matched to any known species. These samples were considered to be possible evidence of a new species, but they were not enough to prove the existence of Bigfoot. Despite the inconclusive results, the Bigfoot DNA project generated a lot of attention and interest in the creature. The project was covered extensively in the media, and it sparked a renewed interest in the search for the creature. Many people were excited by the prospect of finally finding concrete evidence of the creature's existence, and the project helped to raise awareness about the ongoing search for Bigfoot. The project also helped to pave the way for future research on the creature. The methods used in the project, such as DNA analysis, have since been used in other studies on the creature. Additionally, the project helped to establish the importance of proper sample collection and handling in the search for the creature, which has been crucial in the ongoing search for concrete evidence of its existence. In the years following the launch of the Bigfoot DNA project, other researchers have also attempted to obtain DNA samples from supposed Bigfoot sightings. Some of these studies have used more advanced DNA sequencing techniques and have been able to obtain more detailed information from the samples. However, the results of these studies have also been inconclusive, and the question of whether or not the creature is a real animal remains unresolved. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the search for Bigfoot DNA continues, with researchers and scientists looking for new ways to obtain and analyze samples. Some have suggested that the use of next-generation DNA sequencing techniques, such as whole genome sequencing, may be able to provide more definitive answers about the creature's existence. However, the collection of DNA samples is not without its challenges. The creature is elusive, and sightings are rare, making it difficult to obtain fresh samples. Additionally, collecting samples from hair, blood, or saliva in the field is challenging, and samples can be easily contaminated or degraded, making it difficult to obtain quality DNA. In recent years, new technologies such as environmental DNA sampling have been developed, which can detect the presence of an organism by analyzing DNA present in the environment, such as in soil or water. These methods have been used successfully to detect the presence of rare and elusive species, and researchers hope that they may be able to provide new insights into the search for Bigfoot DNA. With the proliferation of the internet and social media, a flood of audio recordings and videos claimed to be of Bigfoot have been widely shared online, sparking renewed interest and debate about the existence of the creature. Many of these recordings have been captured by eyewitnesses, and they claim to be evidence of the creature's vocalizations and movements. However, despite the proliferation of these recordings, the majority of them have been found to be explainable by known animals or hoaxes. One of the most famous examples of an audio recording that was claimed to be of Bigfoot is the Sierra Sounds recordings. These recordings were made in the 1970s by an amateur researcher named Al Berry. Berry claimed that the recordings were of the creature's vocalizations, but they were later found to be hoaxes made by Berry himself. Another example is the Ohio Howl recordings, a series of audio recordings made in the 2000s by a researcher named Rick Dyer. Dyer claimed that the recordings were of the creature's vocalizations and that they provided evidence of its existence. However, the recordings were later found to be hoaxes created by Dyer and his team. More recently, videos and audio recordings have been captured by eyewitnesses using smartphones and other devices. These recordings are often shared on social media and YouTube, and they have generated a lot of interest and discussion among those who believe in the creature's existence. However, many of these recordings have been analyzed by experts and researchers, and the majority of them have been found to be explainable by known animals or hoaxes. Some of these recordings have been found to be of known animals such as bears, wolves, and other wildlife. In many cases, the sounds and movements captured in the recordings can be easily explained by the behavior of these known animals. For example, the calls of coyotes and foxes, which are commonly found in North America, can sound similar to the supposed vocalizations of Bigfoot, and the movement of bears can be mistaken for the creature's gait. Others have been found to be hoaxes, either intentionally or unintentionally made by people. In some cases, people have used sound effects or manipulated recordings to create the impression of the creature's vocalizations. In other cases, people have misidentified known animals or natural sounds as the creature. Despite the fact that the majority of these recordings have been found to be explainable by known animals or hoaxes, some researchers and experts argue that a small number of them remain unexplained. These recordings are considered to be possible evidence of the creature's existence, but they are not considered to be conclusive evidence. While many scientists and researchers have approached the question of Bigfoot's existence from a biological perspective, others have looked to paranormal explanations for the creature's origins. These explanations include theories that Bigfoot is a supernatural or paranormal being, rather than a physical animal. One of the most popular paranormal explanations for Bigfoot is that it is a type of cryptid or hidden animal. Cryptozoology is the study of animals that are not recognized by modern science, and many cryptozoologists believe that Bigfoot fits into this category. They argue that the creature is a surviving member of an ancient primate species that has managed to evade detection by modern science. Cryptozoology is a field that seeks to discover and classify animals that are considered to be hidden or unknown by mainstream science. The study of cryptids is a controversial one, as it often relies on anecdotal evidence and lacks the scientific rigor of other fields of study. However, many cryptozoologists argue that it is important to investigate reports of unknown animals, as they may provide evidence of new species or previously unknown populations of known species. One of the arguments put forward by cryptozoologists is that Bigfoot is a surviving member of the genus Gigantopithecus, a large primate that lived in Asia and Africa until around 100,000 years ago. They suggest that a small population of this species may have migrated to North America and survived until the present day. They point to the similarities between the descriptions of Bigfoot and the reconstructed appearance of Gigantopithecus, such as large size and bipedalism, as evidence of this theory. Another argument is that the creature is a surviving member of the genus Paranthropus, a genus of extinct hominids that lived in Africa between 2.3 and 1.2 million years ago. They suggest that the creature could be a descendant of the Paranthropus robustus, which was a large, robust hominid with a large jaw and a skull with a sagittal crest. However, it's important to note that the majority of scientists and researchers reject the idea that Bigfoot is a surviving ancient primate species. They argue that there is no concrete evidence of such a creature's existence, and that the sightings and encounters can be explained by known animals or hoaxes. They also point out that it is unlikely that a large primate species could have survived undetected for so long in an area that has been heavily populated and explored by humans. Another popular explanation for the existence of Bigfoot is that it is an extraterrestrial being. According to this theory, the creature is not from Earth but rather from another planet and has come to visit or even to live on our planet. Proponents of this theory argue that the creature's physical characteristics, such as its large size and hairiness, are consistent with what one might expect of an alien. They also point to the creature's ability to evade detection as evidence of its extraterrestrial origins. Furthermore, they argue that the creature's behavior and intelligence are also consistent with an extraterrestrial being. They point to the creature's supposed ability to communicate telepathically and to its supposed ability to disappear and reappear at will. They also argue that the creature's supposed intelligence and ability to understand human languages are evidence that it is not a primate but an intelligent extraterrestrial being. Another theory that has been proposed to explain the existence of Bigfoot is that it is a type of interdimensional being capable of moving between different dimensions or realms. They suggest that the creature is able to move between the physical and spiritual realms, and it is only occasionally seen in our world. The idea that Bigfoot is an interdimensional being is rooted in the belief that there are multiple dimensions or realms beyond our physical world, and that these realms are populated by beings that are able to move in and out of them. One of the arguments put forward by those who believe in this theory is that the creature's ability to appear and disappear quickly could be explained by it being able to move through different dimensions or realms. They point out that many people have reported seeing the creature, and then it suddenly disappearing, or appearing in a place it could not have physically traveled to in that time. There are also theories that Bigfoot is a type of spiritual entity, such as a shapeshifter or a guardian spirit. According to this theory, the creature is not a physical being at all, but rather a manifestation of spiritual energy or a spiritual being. Proponents of this theory argue that the creature's ability to evade detection and its sudden appearances and disappearances are consistent with a spiritual being. It's important to note that all of the paranormal explanations for Bigfoot are considered to be highly speculative and lack scientific evidence. They are not supported by mainstream science and are not taken seriously by most researchers and scientists. The search for the truth about Bigfoot continues, and while many scientists and researchers continue to explore the possibility of a physical animal behind the sightings, others are open to considering alternative explanations. Alien, spirit, or flesh and blood animal. For decades, the question has lingered: does the elusive and enigmatic Bigfoot truly exist? Despite countless sightings, tracks, and evidence, the scientific community remains skeptical. But the legend of this mysterious creature has captivated the public imagination, sparking countless expeditions and searches, and becoming a topic of endless fascination and debate. But is the true appeal of Bigfoot in proving its existence, or in the thrill of the hunt? The idea of a flesh and blood animal, or perhaps an otherworldly spirit lurking in the wilderness, is tantalizing and alluring, evoking a sense of adventure and wonder, and reminding us of the mysteries that still exist in our world. As we continue to explore the wild and uncharted regions of our planet, the possibility of encountering a Sasquatch remains. Will we ever find concrete evidence of the creature's existence, or will it forever remain shrouded in mystery and intrigue? Only time will tell.